This is one that I think I've shared maybe a couple times, because I feel like with sacred experiences, the more they're shared, I know for me, the more they're shared, the more they're shared, they might not become as sacred. And I share this for any of those who have a son or a daughter on a mission, or a brother or a sister, or even a friend, and they worry about their safety. Because I really believe that I probably shouldn't be here today. I think I would have survived because I was a missionary still, but I don't know. I'm sure it would have been a long process. But it was up in Kosovo, and we were driving to Jakova. It's a city like an hour out, and I was on splits with my sister training leader. And the roads over there are crazy awful, but there was construction at a part, so it was even worse. And I remember we were going around a curve, and we were going kind of fast, and the right tire of the car hit a ditch. And then she corrected, but she overcorrected, and it was a 2-lane traffic, and it was super close to each other. And we were heading head on to this car, and that we were both going fast, and I could see my companion at the time trying to get us back so we wouldn't get hit, but it was just all happening so quickly, and I saw her brace for impact. And I was in the passenger seat, and as this all was happening, I was eating chocolate somehow, and I saw her brace for impact. I was like, well, this is it. And so I put the last piece of chocolate in my mouth, like ready for impact. And we both had our seatbelts on, so I was like, okay, we'll be okay with that way. And I knew that she was like bracing, and I didn't have much time to react, but I didn't want to close my eyes. I was like, I'm gonna watch it, like see how it happens, you know. And I remember our car and this car were coming super close, and there was probably about a foot between us, and then it got a lot closer to where we were supposed to hit each other. But at first I just thought the headlights were coming together, making like a bright light. But then this bright light got higher, and it sort of seemed to take on body forms. And our car just repelled off of this light for a few feet, and then it went straight, and it was like nothing had happened. And my companion opened her eyes because she was bracing for impact like anybody would do. She's like, what on earth just happened? Because we looked back, and that car was fine too. It was going its way. And in my mind, I can still see it. I can just see a big wall of super bright light. And it was like human forms of light for a while. And we just repelled off of that, and we were fine. There was just a ton of mud on our car from the road, but I think, and I know that we were protected as missionaries. And the thought that came to mind right after that was I told my companion, and I was like, that is a proof of little kids praying for us today. And I don't share that to have like attention on me at all, because I haven't shared it. But I share that because I know from that personal experience that missionaries are protected. And whatever happens on a person's mission is God's will, because some missionaries aren't able to make it home. They go take a shortcut to the earth, to the heavenly home. But I know that whatever happens on a person's mission is God's will. And I'm grateful that God saw fit to spare me and my companion's life that day. And that proved to me that I still have a ton I need to do in my life. But I know that was because of the prayers that were being said. by my family and by the primary in our wards and by the patrons that go to the temple. And I know as long as the missionary is doing its best and trying to be exactly obedient and to not hinder the will of God in their investigators' lives or anything, that they don't need to worry about if they're going to be protected. Because if they're doing what they should on a mission and God sees fit for them to come to the heavenly home, then they went with nothing to worry about, and the family should be comforted knowing that honestly the best place to die, I think, is on a mission, knowing you've done your best because you know that you've squared away everything with the Lord and you're fine. I also know that God does protect his missionaries, like what happened to me and my companion. And not a day goes by that I don't think about that, because my life could have changed. The life of my family and my friends could have changed, and her family and her friends. But I know that God knew where we were, and I know that he protected us, and I know that that wall of light that I saw were angels, and they were some of the angels that were assigned to me and my companion, and just other angels who knew who they could have been. But I know that God is aware of his missionaries and the missionaries' families and friends, that they never go unnoticed to God at all.